welcome to the Men with Tegridy Podcast. I'm your host, Mushrooms on Pizza.
And I'm Noah P.
And this episode is The Woman in the Hat, Season 28, Episode 2. Wow, it's a spooky one. It's South Park's Halloween episode, moved to a Friday night just to be on Halloween, to get us all scared. Oh,
if the lights turn off behind me.
Come in.
Perfect for the Halloween episode. With covered in rectoplasm.
Yes. They got the Conjuring guys guest starred in, I think. Right? Was that the Conjuring guys?
You know, I thought it was maybe the Ghostbusters, but it wasn't really them. It was some general characters between all of that, between the Warrens, Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah, the Amityville House of Horror guys.
Yeah,
I love the Conjuring movies, but they've just been going downhill since the first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Slowly getting worse and worse. I haven't seen the new one that came out this year.
Don't.
No. Okay.
Don't.
All right, so let's get into it. Wow. So this episode, took plot A, plot B, and they collided. And I thought it was in a harmony that was amazing. And the payoff was great. And just said so much about the current administration and what's been going on. And it's so topical. So let's just get right into it. I loved how the premise opened up with this episode. Stan now is moving in with his grandpa. As Randy says to him in the beginning of the episode, it's tough times. The government shutdown is taking effect. He can't get a job at U.S. Geological Survey. That's where he worked at before Tegridy. And as Randy says, everyone misses Tegridy. But Stan goes, no one misses Tegridy. But I'll tell you right now, Tegridy is not gone because Tegridy is in this podcast. We will carry that Tegridy for you.
We'll carry the Tegridy for you, but I also don't miss the Tegridy plot. But that's okay. I think that it was a great, once again, South Park hitting it out of the park with their topical satire that is so close to home that it physically pains me. But the idea that the family moves into the retirement home that they have sent their grandpa to die in is very funny, very dark, very accurate to reality. Just the final asset they can fall back on. Yeah, and meta, that it's this retirement home, and the whole structure of that, and the way that they kind of turn it onto a lot of what we've been talking about recently with the fans and their reaction, and then it turning into this stupid meme coin circle jerk that finally, like you said, ties the two plots together, is just a real sweet icing on the cake. Feels like almost a penultimate episode of a season, even though I know we're only in episode 2 of this season. But we get a lot of things coming together and paying off, and we get a lot of, like, even the Trump characters, we get a reprise from almost every one of them that we've seen this season with their gimmicks still intact, and new ones. But we get pretty much a reappearance of every single one of them after they're in their séance. So it's this episode feels like all of the like you said, all the plot threads are kind of finally weaving together, and I think it's kind of interesting for a season that's been so delayed, and even though whatever, I don't know how they're scheduling this, but for the disjointed nature of the production of these last few episodes, it does feel like they've been trying to create like a solid through line, several solid through lines that are paying off and are still very topical. A lot of the bits this episode with Satan and the ballroom and the arguing over just like how the reconstruction is being done and how it should be a nursery is just a very funny take on what's happening, but also just a very natural development for what the characters are. It's oddly Brechtian, Big fan. Love. Matt and Trey, call me.
One of the, they have so many great Halloween episodes, a lot of classics, and it's in contention of being one of the best ones. I have two that are more of my favorite. The Hell on Earth 2006 episode where they're doing the MTV Sweet 16 stuff. That's always going to be my favorite with Biggie Smalls. Oh, it's so funny. And then I really like the one where Randy gets the Blockbuster video, and it's like Nightmare on whatever Elm Street. They're I forgot the name of the episode, but those two are like some of my favorites. But this one really, really excellent too. So yeah, we'll just talk about Stan, and let's go from there. And it's interesting because we've talked about this entire season covering from podcast episode 1 to, I guess this is podcast episode 6 or 7.
I think it's 8 or 9.
Is it 8? Maybe 8. I don't know. But anyway, we've been talking about like the online reaction, and it's consistently been people online saying, I miss the old South Park. When are they going to have the kids doing their kids' things? And this episode goes so meta with the fact, A, they throw the main characters at a retirement home, like they're going to die, and then Stan doing a classic Stan scheme, which it starts with something that actually has some pride and dignity, and then it ends up just becoming a money scheme, right? And Stan's character is always like, this world is shit. They've done... was it back in season 15? They did like a 2-parter where poop's coming out of his ears and there's a president and all that
classic
stuff. And they take that on to the max in this one and just have a full meta message. I love the Kenny stuff. Oh, look, Kenny hasn't done anything. I've seen those comments a lot. When are we going to get a Kenny episode? Like, Kenny has episodes. Like, really. Like, I guess he had that Mysterion thing. It's also been like 8 years ago. Like, he hasn't really done much forever. It's so funny.
Also, like, just on Kenny as a note, like, I think it's kind of funny that people complain that Kenny hasn't done anything. Where, like, Kenny's joke has always been like, what's the jumping the shark a character can do is dying and coming back to life. That is the most extreme, show-breaking logic you can have in a sitcom with any kind of general formula, and Kenny's been doing that since day one. So they've put him to rest for a little bit because the joke, it didn't get old per se, but like they had other stories to tell, and they didn't need to always. They didn't need to constantly find a way to fit it into every episode. So now, if we get something where Kenny dies this season, it might actually mean something again, which is a funny idea. But
Kenny always has like the horn dog stuff, or he's like taking drugs. He's cheating, or he's trying to get laid. Right? That's Kenny's like thing. And this episode kind of exposes a lot of like people's criticism, and I just loved where they took it. I loved how Kyle again becomes like the voice of reason. They really went back to like how South Park operates, and then they're criticizing that with what pop culture is right now. But they tied it all into the administration because Stan's scheme involves a money laundering operation through a meme coin, right? And they bring back one of my favorite characters, and Kyle's cousin Kyle Schwartz, and then they make a poignant message about how the Trump administration, anyone who criticizes or says anything that's remotely bad will get indicted by Pam Bondi, who has her nose so far up Trump's ass that there's just shit all over her face, which is probably 52% Filet-O-Fish, 24% Taco Bell, and 12% cum. His own cum.
I had my own. That's once again the animation on Trump is always phenomenal. That whole sequence is so funny. The idea that Pam Bondi is such a brown noser that she's got rectal plasm covering her nose is hilarious. The moment when they photoshopped her at the end as like just an actual just so funny. And like I said earlier, like the fact they brought back all of them to just sit at the table and do their shtick is just a great moment to have them all sitting at the the table, and the way they've chosen to do Melania as this literal ghost. Amazing.
And it was set up so well. So I don't know if you know this, but the First Lady's office is in the East Wing. So when they destroyed the East Wing, she had nowhere to go, which is why she's now in the White House area where Trump is. And that was the joke that they were playing. It was very like
I didn't know that.
Deep cut, like very deep cut. But they kept on making references to it. Where is why is she here? It's happened when the East Wing was destroyed. All of a sudden, she's here, and I didn't realize that hat and that whole outfit was actually her real outfit that she's worn.
Yeah,
because she doesn't want to be seen. Probably because she's crying in real life. Probably she doesn't want anyone to see her face because she's embarrassed.
I've also heard. I mean, I like, speculation, rumors, I don't know. But one of the ones I've heard is that there are, like, it's a way for her to get doubles. That she can have other people pretend to be her. If she has, like, a catchphrase outfit and, like, most of it is covering her face, that she can pretty much have, like, duplicates who can run errands and pretend to be her out in the world.
Maybe they can just get AI people to deep fake the face on videos too.
Yeah, but also most of it, like even this is like her face is totally covered. She's got the hat.
She was wearing those big hats. I knew about the hats, but that specific outfit, it was so absurd and so funny. Yeah, and also spooky. It is spooky looking.
It's like a funeral. It looks like she's in a funeral. It looks like a rich widow. It looks like if Melania was to haunt somebody, I believe that would be exactly how she would look.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to bring it back to Stan and his whole thing. One thing I found was interesting. He brought up multiple times that us Gen Alpha kids have to do something. And it made me think, South Park's been on for so long that they originally were millennials like us. And then they became, Zoomers. And now they're full-on Gen Alpha.
They were even...
So that recognition...
They would be millennials. But yeah, it's funny that they're now considering themselves Gen Alpha. But, that's the fun of that flexible timeline. Batman's always got to be 35.
Okay, going back on the message of this episode and the theme. So, personally, I hate cryptocurrency. It's like, I think it's a complete scheme. It takes vulnerable people that think they can get rich. It makes them put all their money in, and then they pump it up and they dump it. And you've seen Elon Musk do this for, it seems like 8 years now, where he did it with Bitcoin first, then he did it with Dogecoin, and now it's become mainstream. They've taken this approach, and it reminds me of how bonds used to be treated in the 80s and late 70s. And got completely exposed by Michael Milken. This might be a little bit complex for some people, but essentially they've done similar things like this, and it's crashed the economy. So, and they're doing it in real time now, and all these rich people, as Kyle's cousin Kyle says, it's a scheme for rich people to get richer, to fuck over everyone else, to hold the bag. And what they do is they try to get FOMO, they get the apes riled up, you have a fake cause saying this is a message, not about a coin or whatever Kyle says, and they take it the wrong way and they use it to promote the product. Oh boy, they said a lot here, and they really exposed the whole thing. I love how they explained it, and one of my favorite moments of it was the first they start the social media page. They unexpectedly, but we expected it's going to blow up. They get 700,000 whatever people online, and it's probably based on some real group online on some social media account that they're parroting. Again, South Park sucks now.
Well, and there was also
it goes right to their website.
They also had an actual rip-off meme coin a few years ago from, I think, Logan Paul made a South Park derivative meme coin that they sued.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know he did he got in trouble for some meme for 5 seconds.
It was they did the same art style.
Money. Oh yeah, everyone's stealing their fucking art style. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy, man. But one of my favorite moments was after they set up the account. You know, he goes, "We have to make a video, classic Stan," and then as he's explaining it, and then he goes super quickly explains why it's a complete fraud and scheme and how they have no liability and things. Like, super fast. I thought that was so funny. It like reminds me of like drug commercials and all that. It was really a cool way of parodying it. And then Kyle's cousin Kyle just breaking it all down. The name of his company was really funny. What was it? Pump and Dump Cryptocurrency. That was the name of his company. Pump and Dump Cryptocurrency.
Oh my God.
Fuck people out of their money. They throw a classic Savvy Jiu-Jitsu line. Those are good. Oh man, there was a lot of. It was really funny. And yeah. Oh man, and I don't think I'm trying to remember the last time he was in the video game as a boss fight in the Fractured Butthole. I think that was his last appearance. And then before that, he's in the baseball episode. That's his first appearance.
He's not been in a lot.
And then he was in a couple, I think, after that. I can't off the top of my head remember. But whenever he shows up, I'm dying. I'm just dying laughing. And it's always NBA. Oh.
I'm big. He's so funny. No, and I was gonna say I agree with everything you're saying about crypto, but like the Haktua coin is gonna come back though. That one,
I think she's irrelevant now. That was last year's thing.
Well, no. It's gonna. I'm still invested. It's gonna come back. I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah, everyone invest in Haktua.
The Men with Tegridy Podcast. You guys gotta invest in the Men with Tegridy Podcast coin.
Yeah, Men with Tegridy Podcast coin, exactly. We gotta get on that. Get all the FOMO going.
As a legal disclaimer, we do not have that, and if anybody does end up trying to invest into something with that name, please watch this clip and know that is legally liability not on us. Thank you.
Yeah, we're never going to pull the rug under you guys until we get a big enough bag.
Yeah, right.
We have to make that nut.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything else you want to talk about the Stan arc before we get over to Trump?
With the Stan arc, I enjoyed seeing the boys come back in such a meta way. Like you said, I find it interesting that they're identifying themselves as Gen Alpha now. It really feels like Trey's daughter should get a writing credit at this point. That like anything they're afraid of with the young kids is just something that she brought to his attention. I guess
This episode.
What?
Hartman's little bit of this episode.
Yeah, Cartman just in the bed being drugged is 6'7". So funny. Love that. Which once again,
it's gonna be up in 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah, like and what's so good about that is like that's another loose end thread that's gonna tie back together, and we're all gonna end up, in the East Wing of the White House or whatever. So it's fun to see how they're juggling so many ideas, and it does seem like they are picking them all back up and kind of tying them back together, which was something I know we had talked about being like, oh, are they going to do that? Are they going to bring it back? I don't know what's going to go on with Jesus again, but a few weeks ago we were saying we wanted more of what was going on with Jesus, and we got it. And so we wanted more of the baby stuff. We got it. So I guess Matt and Trey watched the podcast and are big fans, and they changed the plot the night before the few times that we get out the episode at a decent time.
We say forever the podcast episode. They're ready for us.
Exactly. That's the
maybe. That'd be hilarious if they're one of our like 300 people that watched this.
They're the one person who left that comment. I saw a comment that was like, this is what a gay relationship in the year of COVID looks like.
Yeah, that's a funny one.
I was like, that's pretty funny.
Shout out to that
guy. So yeah, I like what they're doing with the boys. I think that's a pretty classic It's almost like an Ed, and Eddie plot line is the scamming. And I like how, Kyle pretty much wants no part in it. Classic. And, yeah, just
and
the way...
Stan never gets his comeuppance in the end. It's always someone else takes the hit. And this time it was his cousin Kyle.
And then he just feels so guilty about it. And classic Trump's cabinet, nobody apologizes or admits guilt there. They're all just sitting around waiting for somebody to freak out.
All right, okay, I want to give a shout out to everyone that they animated in his cabinet. So we have Stephen Miller, who, oh my God. Holy shit, you couldn't do better. You couldn't represent him
I
better.
saw Stephen Miller and I said, that's Stephen Miller. Before he even said, I'm Stephen Miller, I was like, oh, Stephen Miller. Phenomenal.
Pam Bondi, obviously, her and Caroline Leavitt, they're the blonde, Trump-looking ladies. I was like, is that Pam Bondi? And it was like, yeah, it's Pam Bondi. Her first introduction in the episode, her with all the shit on her face. I mean, what a fucking message they're sending there. I thought it was fantastic. The one guy who I couldn't figure out who he was, so I put the subtitles on, and then on Paramount Plus, they don't tell you who's speaking, but at one point they do say his name, so I was able to figure it out. Because I went online, I was like, I go through his entire cabinet, I'm like, this guy's not appearing on who it is. And then I was like, because my thought was, it's his chief of staff. It has to be his chief of staff. That's kind of the role. But then I looked at his chief of staff as some like old lady that no one ever heard of or knows who she is. She's like some Heritage Foundation lady who never makes a public appearance. This is his deputy chief of staff, and his name is Dan Scavino. And I liked his role in this episode as kind of like this like fat guy. First of all, you type his name on the internet. He has the weirdest expression. His mouth is always open, and he's just like. He's this weird face. But we got a return of Kristi Noem. We got her face melting off again. Callback. Love that. Brandon Carr.
Yeah, still with his Heil and in the cast and stripped of his freedom of speech.
Yeah, it just doesn't have it. That toxoplasmosis, man. Wow. And Don Jr. returning. They actually named him this episode Don Jr. Oh, it was good. It was good. And then, Caroline Leavitt was just sitting on the table. I think that was all of it. That's everyone they've parodied. So they still have a few more people they got to make fun of. I'm waiting for RFK Jr. Like, how have they not done something with the autism?
They'll get there. They got to find the right way in. Maybe it'll be something with the whole Jesus plot. That'll come up. I could easily see that kind of tying into this toxic masculine Christian view is also tied into that whole like weird health craze nonsense, very quickly it becomes this like, we gotta save the children, and then Jesus will hang out with him and be like, yeah, motor around.
It's got to be the next one.
Yeah, they'll start stacking it in. I think they've got room for it. It's because they've set up they've set up that idea of the weird Christian behavior, that specific brand of Christianity behavior that we're seeing so prevalent in the Trump party. Like, they've been setting that up since the first episode of this run. That was in the very first time we saw Mar-a-Lago. That was a big part of it, was that it was like, oh, there's some pretty heavy-handed stereotypical depictions of what we think of as Trump's, fan base being shown here, and that's been expounded on. So I think we're going to get more of that, and that may tie into the RFK plot and the Peter Thiel stuff too. All of that is pretty wacky and out there, and a fun thing that they could tie together. It doesn't have to be close to reality.
I mean, they're waiting for one specific thing to drop, and I think they want to tie it all together with that, and they make a reference to that at the very end of this episode. But I want to get ahead of ourselves about the séance. Let's cover a couple other things that happened before that. We got a return of my boy.
Towley. Poor Towley.
Yeah, poor Towley. He's got to get revenge back on Randy, though. Randy did him really dirty.
Well, we'll see. Maybe Towley will be the broker of peace. It'll be like a moment where Trump's crying in the bathroom or something, and Towley will be like, it's okay, man. You can just get a little high.
And, he's stuck in that bathroom with Ronald Reagan's painting and Andrew Jackson's painting. And you know what he doesn't have in that bathroom? You don't got any of the bajones.
No weed.
No, you haven't got any of that. No. But I saw, we got to see inside of Trump's medicine cabinet. Did you take a look at it? Did you take a pause and take a look? Oh, there's some good stuff. So he had sildenafil in his cabinet. And if you don't know what sildenafil is, it's the generic name for Viagra. He had baby oil. He had some type of balm to put on himself. He had some other goodies in that medicine cabinet. Lotions. Yeah. And then Sadie kind of disappeared. Once the spooky stuff started going on with the lightning around the White House, Satan was nowhere to be found. He kind of dipped out. I guess he got really upset about the nursery that he was supposed to have built. Poor guy.
Maybe he's giving birth, and we'll find out in the next episode. It'll be like, you weren't there.
He moved out, and he has a baby carriage. You don't get to see what it is.
Yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
Piss off so many people.
I'm still waiting for my cliffhanger right into a Terrence and Phillip. That's what I'm begging for.
Yeah, that's about 50-50, right? They can throw that out there. If they don't have anything to do it, they're we're just delaying. We have a mystery box that we set up. We don't have an answer to it.
Terrence and Phillip.
Fuck it. Fuck it. This is our plan B.
Yeah. So I would love. Or give me another Pip episode.
Pip's R.I.P. though.
Yeah.
He got killed by Babs.
Flashback.
J.D. Vance talking about Pam Bondi trying to steal his job.
That was pretty funny. That was also I was like, yeah, that is what's going on there.
Yeah, I think so. And things could be happening soon where maybe there's a transition of some sorts. I don't know. All I know is, so just to give everyone some clarity, we're filming this quite after the episode aired. So the government shutdown's ending, which means one thing, and it was highlighted in the séance. So Pam Bondi, I'm assuming that was real. She was really being possessed by Melania. Melania was really talking about it, and she says Jeffrey Epstein, and then Trump goes, "Oh, we're cutting it up. We don't want any more of this." Well, the shutdown's over, it's
as of today.
It's not over.
I was gonna say
no. So it has to go to the House. So the Senate approved a deal. It hasn't gone to the House yet. The House has to vote on it because they create the bill. It's the funding bill, and then it goes to the Senate, and then the Senate will have to do an actual vote on it. So if the Democrats put enough pressure with their current, we're not getting political here, but there's a whole criticism of what's going on with the passing of this. The Democrats completely, fucking the bed, whatever the term is.
Again,
they shut down the government for 40 days plus, right? And they're not even getting what they wanted out of it. It's pretty pathetic. So if there's enough pressure on them, they technically don't have to. It has to go back to them. So they could reinstate the filibuster. Yeah. So that's still possible. It's not impossible. I just doubt it's going to happen. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, it's going to go through. The government shutdown should end by probably Friday. So after the new episode that's going to come out on Wednesday, and then or the Monday after. But that means the first thing that's going to happen is they're just going to go forward and release these Jeffrey Epstein files. That's one of the big things. So it's going to happen this season of South Park. We're going to get We're gonna get it covered. And Matt and Trey are licking their their lips. Can't wait to get a bite out of that.
I bet Tally will be involved in some way. Maybe we'll get more Tallies.
We need Tally to get saved. Like there's a few loose ends that need to happen, and Tally getting out of there is one of them. The Cartman plot and the Jesus plot. There's a lot of plots, and yeah, this was the seventh episode of the seventh episode of the season. Was this episode? So we got 3 left. It's gonna take us to Christmas, which means
that would be great. That would be great. Well, I mean,
Hanky's gonna save Jesus. He's gonna have to show him the meaning of Christmas.
They could bring Santa back also. Is Santa still in Afghanistan, or was he Iraq? Where was Santa?
Santa was, and he was killed. Right? He was tortured. Oh God, I'm losing the plot here of all these characters. You know, when I rewatch it all out of order, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, Santa needs to come back. But yes, I would think Santa and Mr. Hanky are really going to have to come in and really wrap this shit up.
Yeah, especially if they're going to do what they did with
Canadian Mr. Hanky. Maybe we get a Terrence and Phillip episode with Canadian Mr. Hanky and Canadian Santa.
And Canadian Stan, Kenny, and Kyle, and Cartman.
You heard it here, folks. Well, do you know that Phillip, Terrence and Phillip is Trey Parker.
Oh, Terrence.
Terrence, Phillip, Parker.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Well, if they do a Terrence...
my theory. I don't know. It's actually true, but I think it has to be.
If anything that we said comes true, Matt and Trey needs to send us a check.
Or just give us a shout out.
Yeah, just give us a shout. Yeah, make us animated.
We're
not Canadian though.
No, but we can be if you need us to be.
Yeah, if you need me. Yeah, if we're in the Terrence and Phillip episode, I'll forgive you. It's fine. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I messed up. It's 28% Taco Bell. I almost got the numbers right, and 14% his own cum. I just love the Pam Bondi shit, like the quotes. The president is a great man even if he eats his own semen. These quotes were so good. Oh man, yeah. The crypto is just a scheme for the rich to get richer. It's a giant money laundering scheme. Kyle's cousin, he got 10 years in jail. This is her last quote. And it kind of ends like this. We will continue to indict anyone who says bad stuff about our president.
Yeah.
So they're not going to stop. And maybe they're like South Park. Man, trying to keep and say bad stuff about the president. Do they think they're going to get indicted? Like, how far does this go?
Also, did you notice that Trump's penis is censored in this episode?
No, not on the broadcast that I watched. On Comedy Central.
It's very, because it's so small you can't even see it. It's pixelated.
Oh, we got to zoom in on that.
I'll have to put that edit in there.
Maybe on Paramount Plus they did it. Did you see it on cable?
I watched it on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I watched it originally on cable. I watched it twice.
To be fair,
cable, I don't think it was.
To be fair, he is made of blocks, so it wouldn't be unheard of that it might literally just be a rectangle.
Yeah, I think that might be it. I think it's just a simple square, and rectangle. I mean, he's like the Canadian block
shape,
right? Okay, there's a Stephen Miller thing where he goes, by demolishing the East Wing, they've released a very vengeful rat. Everyone goes, what type of rat? A vengeful. I need more Stephen Miller. Just give me more Stephen Miller.
Well, it's great they debuted him on Halloween. He's a great Halloween character,
I think
too.
He's just like a Halloween character. Yeah, it's just a Halloween character.
But he's such a funny fuck. Like he's such a cartoon character. Like when you hear about Stephen Miller's one of those people where you hear the story of his life and you're like, what do you mean he petitioned for students to throw trash on the ground because the school had janitors? What do you mean? That's like a cartoon villain. Oh, he did that?
Well,
yeah, he did. Oh, he said that the Statue of Liberty had the poem added to it after the fact, so he could deny immigrants. Yeah, that guy. Oh, Jesus Christ.
We need you. We need Mr. Hinky to save you.
Yeah.
We need Mr. Hinky to save you. There's one thing so it opened up with them talking about someone's trying to stop this baby. So they've been made aware of it, right? They're aware of J.D. Vance's plot. Peter Thiel has no idea why. He thinks someone overheard them. There might be something going on secretly behind the curtain here.
Yeah.
Trying to expose this whole thing. Thoughts on that?
From Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance?
Yeah, well, the White House staff, unless you just think it's just a plot point.
I think there's something to J.D. Vance trying to stop the baby, but I think that might be that J.D. Vance is actually the twist reveal villain.
The man behind the curtain is J.D. Vance.
Yeah. That's what I think this season is ramping up to. I don't think that's the case in real life, but I think that that's what the show is kind of like. Trump is such a goof idiot, and like that's how they portray him.
It might be in real life too, because you're making a good point. Let's just brainstorm here. There's been a lot of online chatter about J.D. Vance's specific relationship with a certain widow, right? And people taking, these images that are circulating online about these really close hugs with this certain widow. I just don't want to say the name because I don't want to get canceled. But they're embracing themselves, talking about, this is a secret affair and all this stuff. That organization, Turning Point USA, is like very powerful.
Allegedly.
This base.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Allegedly. Anyway, so they're like, they're a big reason to why he has such a strong youth support, right? Throughout this country and colleges and stuff like that. And they become actually a strong voting bloc for him, surprisingly, right? Young people usually don't vote. So it's kind of interesting dynamic-wise. Like, is he, he's obviously trying to make a move so he becomes the successor to Trump. Clearly, he's vice president. Any vice president's going to do that. But what if Trump, J.D. Vance knows what's in the Epstein files. Even if Trump doesn't think he knows, he knows.
We all know.
He's got his fingers all over that, right? So if this is going to become a thing, we don't know what 2026 is going to be like. I'm sure it's going to be crazy because we didn't know what 2025 was going to be like. So is he setting himself up to be in a position where he gets rid of his immigrant wife? He all of a sudden gets this, Miss Arizona blonde lady to be his new boo. And he now has this super powerful organization behind his back, an organization that many members have just been caught in a scheme saying very Cartman-like things in text messages. This is an easy way to simplify it.
Master debaters.
We're getting really political here. We're getting kind of off base from South Park, so maybe we'll just bring it back a little bit.
Well, they're master debaters. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, master debaters. All right.
Is that a South Park reference? I forget. I feel like I've never seen that in the show.
Master debating?
Yeah, was that a bit? Did they do that?
Are you doing a bit right now?
I went to go try and find an episode and I couldn't find it. Is that...
Did they really take it off air?
Didn't they? Am I wrong? Is it back on Paramount Plus?
I think it was never removed from... They stopped airing it on Comedy Central, but I think it's on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Yeah. That would be great. First of all, that episode is way too good not to air.
Yeah.
Boss, the plane, like just the monologue stuff by itself was just fantastic. All right. I think we kind of said everything we want to say. I mean, I have some other notes here, but we've kind of like jumped around too much for me to really get back to it. I like when Trump was like, what does she want? Who is she? Mr. President, I think that's your wife. What does she want?
What does she want?
And you mentioned it earlier. His face is in this, like they keep on just getting, they just keep hitting it out of the park with these faces, and you just get more creative faces.
So good. It's every and he's so animated too. He's like one of the most over animated motion wise, and I feel like they sometimes track the motion of the camera to his head. It's very like whatever they're doing for him is so funny. It's every time he's on screen, it's a real treat. He's so the big expressive eyes. It's ridiculous. No other character is animated as much as he is.
Yeah, he's like an anime character. The level of expression going on in his face. It's so good. All right, reviewing this episode. Just because. All right, I'm probably gonna get it. Probably deserves, but I love what they had to say about Bitcoin or just meme coins in general, cryptocurrency in general, the pump and dump schemes, the cash, the pulling the rug underneath people. That whole messaging to me is just such an important thing to talk about, and they executed it so well. And just connecting it to money laundering, and then how that they're enriching themselves in the White House and the whole scheme of it. I thought it was so well done. It like they did it in a way that was like like Spotlight, like the movie Spotlight, or where they had those like movies when they did like the Big Short. They kind of like had like that kind of moment in this episode, and they kind of they explained it so perfectly and so succinctly and briefly too. Like they really just it was phenomenal. I love the Halloween stuff. All the new cabinet members were so funny. I love the meta-ness of this episode. It was just fantastic. They understand what's going on online. They hear all of you. They hear you all in the comment sections. They're totally aware of it all.
But they hear us most of all.
They do. Since they're listening to us, you guys should tell your friends to listen to us, because Matt and Trey listen to us, obviously. Hit that like and subscribe button. We never tell you guys really to do that, but smash that shit.
We don't tell you that often because we're better than other YouTubers. We're nicer, and we don't tell you to do that, but you should do that, though. Yeah,
she should do that. Hit that bell button, right? Or whatever it is. And then one thing, because it's interesting, since the cat's out of the bag, we told you we were filming this about 10 days after the episode aired or whatever. Matt and Trey over the weekend got interviewed by the New York Times. I don't know if you saw that, but in their interview with the New York Times, they talk about this season and why it has such heavy Trump messaging. And it essentially boils down to the fact that the show is about covering pop culture. And because the presidency and the politics this year have become the pop culture, they are forced to cover it. And that's really the thing. So they were making fun of it, all this meta stuff. Oh, let's go back to the boys. They tied it all in, and they still kept true to what the pop culture is, which is the politics going on in the United States. And until the politics of the United States is no longer the pop culture, this is what we're going to get. So if you want South Park to change, vote them out. That's really it. Because these people are obsessed with becoming pop culture. All they want to do is put themselves in front of the camera. They lie. They do whatever it is to get attention for themselves. And they've shifted all of entertainment and media and communications. I mean, so like more of what they were talking about is like they weren't planning on doing anything about Trump, really. It was the moment that they interfered with Paramount, with the merger. Their whole thing was delayed. Watch the first video on this channel. It talks about why the season was delayed with this merger, and the Trump administration was delaying it further. And then they forced Colbert to leave. They did all this bullshit, and it upset them so much that they threw him an episode, and they didn't think they were going to continue with it, but it kept on going. It just kept on going. They had to carry it through, and obviously the bit's hilarious. We still love it, and the storyline is just, it's grown and grown, and there's nothing you can do. I know that this is technically 2 different seasons. Obviously it's not, because they keep calling back to season 27, season 28.
Yeah, it's still the same plot lines. So I agree. I think that the pop culture being politics right now is kind of just a testament to Trump and his party, and the way that they wage war politically is it's a culture war. They don't really propose legislation. What they do is they fearmonger about cultural topics, and they condense, and they fire, and they remove people from power and just consolidate all the power as they fearmonger. And it's all based in pop culture. And so it's one of those things where you're not hearing any legislation being proposed. You're hearing a lot of fear-mongering about legislation that doesn't exist. And then it makes other legislation have to come into place that stops that from happening. And so it's just this endless cycle of bullshit. And I think that, at least it's so absurd and Kafkaesque that South Park can make it funny.
Yeah, well, they can make anything funny. Let's just be real.
Yeah, well, it's easy when it is this funny, when it is really like.
Yeah, but they do it different. You got to give them credit because everyone makes fun of Trump, right? You know, from SNL to all the late night shows to like Daily Show, stuff on their own network, but they do it different. They do it the best because they take a mirror, they show you what it is, and then they draw a small little dick on it, and it can make everyone who has a sense of humor laugh. You know, I still see it from even Trump supporters in the comments that even though they're making fun of my president, it's still funny. So the jokes are still landing for them. And I'll say this, I always go online to see like what's the chatter after an episode drops. There was nothing going on negative about this episode. I think people were happy that they were being meta about, talking about South Park sucks now. So I think that kind of pulled back a lot of it. And yeah. All right, ratings for this episode. I'm going to give it a 9 crypto tokens out of 10.
I'm going to give it a
spooky good episode.
I'm going to also give it 9 out of 10 rectoplasms. I love Halloween. I love Halloween. I love a spooky story. I just love this episode. I thought it was a great episode mocking the current state of everything, and it gives me hope that there still really is a nice through line being delivered on, that we're going to get some kind of a really satisfying, cathartic payoff by the end of whatever this run is. And if we don't, we're going to get Terrence and Phillip, and I'm even excited about that.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, guys. Till next time, like and subscribe. Smash everything. Just wherever you at. Boom, 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 boom. If you're listening to the podcast, we have a new podcast now. You can find out all where podcasts are. Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. We got the feeds up. So follow us on that. When you're driving, you're commuting, you're at the office, you hate your day, but you watch South Park and you're like, yo, I want to hear what other people are talking about on it. We're giving you some good perspective, some intelligent perspective, some good insights here. And we're going to keep doing it to the end of the season. And, we love this following. We want to continue doing this afterwards. And we can do some like fun, cool ideas and keep this going, guys. So we've seen the audience grow, which is really great. And we want to keep seeing it grow. So help us out, fellas, because we can't do it alone. Till next time.
See you later. Oh shit, was I supposed to hit record?